Hi everyone, my name is Gabriel Pena. This is POS 361 American Foreign Policy, and this is my video debate response. And the video I will be responding to is McKenna Mullen. Thank you for letting me watch your video. Um, Her argument was that the Capitol riots was a terrorist attack, and I completely agree with her. Um, she included at the very beginning of her video, she defined the word terrorism, and I think that was a very good way to start off the video. Um, it defined exactly what terrorism is, kind of set the ground on what we're going to be talking about, kind of went back throughout. Um, I even think it would have been a good addition as well to even include the FBI's definition on terrorism, because I just did my final paper on domestic extremism and I think it would have helped very well. So, actually, the definition stated by the FBI on their official webpage for domestic terrorism is, quote, violent criminal acts committed by individuals and or groups to further ideological goals stemming from domestic influences such as those of a political, religious, social, racial, or environmental nature. I think that sums up perfectly, um, first of all, the definition of terrorism, domestic terrorism, and what exactly happened at the Capitol building that day. Um, she continued on by saying, that these protesters were using the storming and as an intimidation tactic for lawmakers. Um, I completely agree with her. These protesters were, for what the opposition will argue as being just a group of radicals, a bunch of extremists, a bunch of Americans who went incredibly far to try and prove a point to make a political statement. The entire storming of the Capitol was very sophisticated, and it was pretty planned out for these protesters to just storm the building. A lot of these protesters knew what they were doing, which lawmakers they were looking for, and where exactly their offices would be. I have a page pulled up from CNN, and they even say, you know, it's been about almost 2 months now since the invasion of the Capitol, and it's been highlighted. There was extremist groups at this protest. Not only white supremacists, but very anti-state, anti-government supporters. They even highlight where is it the organization called the Ohio State Regular Militia. There was a couple individuals who have been charged for trespassing and I think a couple other felony charges for their participation in the Capitol riots. There's a lot of videos and photos of this organization called the Oath Keepers. There's a lot of paraphernalia that has been seen in the videos that highlights that a bunch of the members from the Oath Keepers were there, and they're a known anti-government, very anti-state. They can be wrapped up in like the sovereign citizen movement, the ability for them to almost raise a militia in fear of the government being too big. They're a big time sovereign citizen organization, and it highlights what McKenna was talking about. This is a terrorist attack by known domestic extremists and extremist organizations. This wasn't just a storming of the Capitol. This wasn't just a riot within the Capitol. I like even how Mitch McConnell came out and even said this wasn't just a riot. This was an insurrection, and it was an insurrection. These were domestic extremists with very hardcore radical ideologies going in there and committing felony capital crimes. And even in my paper, I cited the Capitol riots as being a form of domestic terror. And the argument or trying to argue that it wasn't a form of domestic terror is almost idiotic because it fits the FBI's definition of what domestic terrorism was. Groups of individuals, and even individuals by themselves, who affiliate with some kind of political, radical, religious groups, or even themselves holding radical extremist views, going off and committing felony crimes in the seat of government. So overall, I think I kind of got to a little point where I'm rambling now, but I think McKenna did a great job on her debate, and I just like to say good job. Thank you.